Hello, Ramesh here, doing this video as part of assignment 3 in game architecture. So right now we are creating the Space Invaders game, and it's just a prototype. We are proceeding forward with sprites and textures and sprite managers and stuff. So this is the class diagram. This is the UML I have implemented up to SpriteBatch till SpriteBatch. Like, you put the set of aliens in one batch, and everything that's getting animated in the game is set of batches that's running, that animates in the game. So everything is implemented through linked list. So if you see the game, there won't be any new objects that's created like this. So the whole point of doing it in the linked list is take off all the new instances that we create each time when we add an image or add a texture or create a sprite or do the sprite batch. So the part of the difficulties that I faced in the programming is like, the first thing that I did is I started with scratch, like create a new solution and then create everything. So when I started coding and when I ran the first batch of my prototype, it didn't support the DLL, the serial DLL that we were using to create the program. It didn't support, and I got an error message. So basically you had to migrate the whole solution to the sample engine that the professor has given. And then so I copied all my code into a new in the solution engine that my professor has given. And that's how you implement it. And in the resource file, you gotta make sure that you don't mess with all the render and model files. That way everything is secure when you actually render the object. So that was one of the problems that I faced. Also, the files that you put in is in different folders, right? So what happened was the .NET in my version, for now it's 4.5 .NET version, and I can't change it because the DLL, Azul DLL that we are using, is coded in 4.5 framework. So the thing is, like, every time I have to call the texture manager or use the class, I gotta specify the namespace. So right now I'm coded with the namespace, but I can do a workaround and just go there and put everything in one namespace instead of .image or .texture or .manager. So this is a workaround that I should do to make sure that it's not like this in future. And this was one of the other thing that was like freaking me out, because every time I gotta type the namespace, full namespace, to reach the class. So the other thing is like to create specified set of reserved nodes. To create a specified set of reserved nodes before the reserved list gets empty, you should put them in 3 different uninitialized nodes. That way, when the next set of batch is loaded, there is already some nodes in the reserved list. So I had the difficulty, so I followed the professor's example here, and I initialized with 3 and 1, so that at the first row 3 nodes gets initialized, and then you can add it as long whenever the reserved list gets empty. So I changed the whole manager class from the professor's class, because for me, just like he said, you have to take the node from the start and then put it in the start. Everything insertion and deletion is all at the front. So I'm not doing any middle insertion, or even if there is like you have to add the node, I remove it from the top first and then add it at the first. So it's just a common method I created, remove in front of the list or add to the front of the list, and then you proceed forward to removing the actual node from the reserve and add it to the top of the list in the active list. So one of the challenging factor in this program is that you create all the texture, you create all the image, you add all the image in the linked list, but to manage the sprite batch is one of the toughest. Like if you see the class diagram, like you gotta maintain another set of linked lists just pointing towards another set of linked lists that holds the image texture and the game sprites. So basically, as you can see, the image points to the texture and the game sprite points to the image, but we need this whole thing wrapped under the sprite batch. That way we get the whole set. So like the batch is as the name suggests, it's just a batch of files or batch of objects that you need to render the images. So for me, I created 3 sets of batch. One is an alien batch, the logo, and a background batch. So for me, aliens are all those aliens that's created that we took to animate the objects. So we put them in the batch because when they animate, they doesn't slow down when it comes to another object, and there is a free flow there. Also, we categorize them in background or in the foreground, or how many layers that you want, you can create it. So if I run the program, you'll know, like I put the aliens, yeah, as you can see, they are moving around, but they're not slowing down. As we saw in the earlier video in the second assignment, they're not slowing down at all. Even they close together, it's just a free flow. Also, the SpaceInvaders logo is the middle part, and the whole background is the box. So it starts with the background and then the SpaceInvaders logo, and then all the aliens come out. So this is basically this is the same output as the second assignment, but I did it without creating any new instances of objects. The whole purpose of this third assignment is to avoid creating new instances and deal everything with a linked list. So every time you create a linked list, you have to make sure that the default constructors are there and the parameterized constructors, everything should be initialized at the start of the stage. Like the SpriteBatches here, everything should be initialized, and with the default values. So if you're initializing the batch name, it should be initialized at first, and then when it gets added to the list, it should be either in an active list or, so for instance, for this sprite batch, it will be either aliens or background or invaders logo, something like that. So far I have implemented the up to sprite batch, sorry. Yeah, so up to sprite batch. And the proceeding forward, we have to include the timing of each alien, and then I got to work on the aliens placements as well. I can't just leave them laying around all over the place. I have to put them, synchronize them in each X and Y coordinates, and then coordinate them along with the timing. So I got to implement that. I got to work on it for the next assignment. Until now, up to assignment 3, everything is done as for my knowledge, and I hope everything works out fine in the later stage. So that's it. Thank you.